first guest tonight is an Emmy and Academy Award-nominated actress, writer, and comedian you know from Bridesmaids, MacGruber, Barb and Stargate of Vista Del Mar, and Saturday Night Live. She stars in Palm Royale. The season 2 finale premieres Wednesday on Apple TV. Let's take a look.
Linda is free and has found love again, while I am here, divorced and stuck with my ex-husband.
She's just cranky because she hasn't gotten laid.
Oh, and you have? Because that's not what I'm hearing.
We are here because she gave my ancestral home to a literal mobster.
The only reason I did that was so Pinky wouldn't kill you.
I don't need protection, Maxine. Stop protecting me.
Maybe if you would have used protection with my manicurist, we wouldn't be here in the first place.
It always comes back to that.
Y'all need to work this out.
Please welcome back to the show our very good friend, Kristen Wiig, everybody. Hello! I'm so happy to see you.
So happy to see
But I'm very lucky because I get to see you a little bit off, out of showbiz.
Yes.
I get to see you socially, and yet I feel like my family has put a small burden on you.
What?
Which is we request that you are in charge of, like, games.
Which I don't mind.
You don't mind. But, like, I just lest anybody think you're bringing any basic games, like, let's do charades.
Oh,
or
no,
let's
I like
do
to make 'em up.
You make a brand new game
Yeah.
up every
Yes.
time you come over.
Yes.
Now, we played, we were here once, you were on the show, we played Under the Blanket.
Which is my favorite game.
Under the Blanket, it's the
By
best game in the world.
But when you pitch Under the Blanket to people, they do think you're like trying to.
It's a
like,
sex game.
It's a sex game.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's not a sex game. What happens with Under the Blanket is 4 people leave the room, and then one of them puts a blanket over them, and then they just like crawl in the room like
Yeah,
a little.
you could split the room up however many
Yeah.
people, and you say like, crawl in with a blanket covering you, and then the other group of people has to guess
Who's
who
under
is
the
crawling
blanket.
under the blanket. It is the funniest game.
Yeah.
You just laugh because you think you know who it is, and you're watching this person
Yeah.
crawl, and they're laughing and like.
And you can give them instruction. You'll be like
Yeah.
shuffle back and forth.
Yeah.
And then you like think you know who it is, and then it's so funny because you see a blanket go like this, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, it's not who I thought.
Yep. Seth wouldn't do that.
You brought a game this summer. I remember you also like you did work on this. Like you came.
Well, your mother-in-law,
Yeah.
Joe, was having a party, dinner, and Alexi had told me, you're in charge of games.
Yeah.
I got very excited.
Yeah.
I showed up with Ziploc bags full of written prompts, like pieces of paper.
You had a bag that was all the letters of the alphabet,
Okay.
and another bag that was prompts. So I remember you like pulled out and it was like a wizard, and then the other one was a letter.
Oh,
like,
right.
You know, like so like F, and you had to then name either a wizard from fiction, or just make up a wizard's name.
Yeah.
And then the room had to decide if like that was an okay wizard
Right.
name. Like by the way, almost everybody won every round.
Well, yeah, there aren't a lot of like points
Yeah.
or winners with my game.
But my
It's just-
9-year-old was sitting
yeah.
next to me, and he got the wizard thing came up, and he's like, "Oh, I hope I get H." You know what I mean? And I'm like, "Don't stress out about it." He's like, or D, like he's immediately going through the Howard. He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
How many wizards do I know? But we did one. It was your birthday,
Yes.
and it was out. Your whole thing. It was outdoors. We were having dinner outside. And you came up with this game where 2 people would go and they would come up with a scenario.
Yes.
And then they would go out and wordlessly mime the scenario.
And then we had to guess
Yeah.
what was happening with
But I
these two
remember the
people.
first, you and Will Forte did the first one, and we watched you act
I'm
it out for
crying.
like 9 minutes.
that tracks, by the way.
That checks back. And we're yelling things out, and then when it was over, it was like, these are 2 people who haven't seen each other in 3 years, seeing each other at a grocery store, and then one of them remembering the other one owes them money. So imagine being like a little drunk and watching Wiig and Forte like do
And then
this.
we're backstage, kind of like, okay, so you be over there, and then I'm gonna walk over, and it's all like. Like, how would anyone guess that?
I remember
they
I
own-
was doing one with somebody who was like 2 bank robbers realize they're robbing a bank at the same time. And like we were like definitely so drunk that we thought somebody'd be like 2 bank robbers, but they're like nobody.
Like, why isn't anyone getting these?
They all devolved into like everybody being a little bit frustrated.
Yes. And
But it's great. You're a game master, and it's really appreciated.
It's very fun.
Yeah. You love a game, and you always have.
I do. I do. It brings people together.
You know what else brought people together? Look, this is one of my best transitions of the year.
What?
SNL 50 brought people together.
It really did.
And I was wondering if you felt you opened the show.
Yes.
And were you so happy to get it out of the way? I mean, there's
Yes.
like a pressure to starting, but then it's also like so nice to then be able to be an audience member.
And I just wanted to enjoy everything because there were so many different rehearsals happening at different times. You were seeing it for the first time
Yes.
the night of the show. That was so fun.
You also, I sat 2 seats away from John Lovitz, who, when I was growing up, was probably my favorite person on the show. And was he your first, this is true, the first celebrity sighting you had when you moved to LA?
Well, technically, my first was Joey Buttafuoco.
Oh, well, that's pretty good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Technically. But I saw him in a CVS. I was like, just Joey Buttafuoco. I worked in a restaurant. It was a hot dog. Don't you laugh. It was in Beverly Hills. And it was a gourmet hot dog restaurant.
Was that your vibe there? Would you like, when you brought over the hot dog, you were
Yeah.
like, don't you laugh at me.
Yes. Yes.
I'm gonna make it big one day.
Use your napkin.
Use your
This is Beverly
napkin.
Hills. And anyway, I was behind the counter, and John Lovitz came in, and he had just bought a camera, and he was like looking at and I was just like talking with him and serving him hot dogs, and I was like, this is the best day of my life.
Yeah.
He was like hero.
Yeah.
So fun.
Also, I think he's incapable of not being John Lovitz, which is a really
Right.
rewarding thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you get the full Lovitz every time you have any interaction with Lovitz.
Yes.
How you have twins? They're 6 years old.
Yes.
How are they?
They are amazing. They're
Great.
6. They are 6.
That's like 12.
6 is it's great because
Yeah.
they're getting to be more, independent, obviously, but they're getting a little like rebellious a little bit. They've discovered like swear words
Okay.
and things, which, you think it's like they say it, like, and then they like laugh.
Yeah.
But my son is fully like, you can bleep this, right?
Yeah.
He's just like, where are my shoes? And I'm
Oh my
like,
God.
where are you Oh,
Right.
that's not on Paw Patrol.
You famously never knew where your shoes
no,
were. Yeah.
no, I dropped the F-bomb any
Yeah.
chance I
I
can.
was doing a word puzzle with Axel the other day, and it was like this thing where it was a sentence and a blank and 2 choices. And it was like, I went to the blank to take a swim. And it was like lake or boot.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, oh, I know it. And I'm like, have this moment as a parent of like, look at him. He's learning. He's confident.
Yeah.
I mean, the speed. And then I look, and he just wrote. and then he like looked up at me. He's like,
It's hard not to.
It's hard not
you're
to
like,
laugh.
Don't say that.
congrats on Palm Royale.
Thank
it's such
you.
a wonderful
Thank
show.
you so much.
Such a wonderful cast.
Oh yes, yes.
Every time I talk to anybody who works on the show, I feel like it's a lot of people who have worked on a great many things, and they have a real appreciation for being with a cast of people that are kind and talented.
It's a love fest over there. I'm not kidding. It's great.
really great.
It's great.
Obviously this is a period comedy.
Yes.
Are there anything from the era that you have to like adapt that you're like surprised, like etiquette things?
I mean, you were supposed to sit like this, like ankles crossed.
Okay.
I didn't. I mean, that's not very interesting. But it's
Slow down.
Wait a minute.
Slow
like this.
down.
No, but you generally sit and then you cross your leg, and I had to like that was not the thing. You had to
There was a
tell your friends.
tell your time traveling
Tell your-
friends.
Well, they know.
Oh, right, they know. Well, no, people from here
From
who time
years,
traveling back.
But if they're from back there
if they time travel here,
and they
yeah.
come here, they're like, Psst, what's she doing?
Oh, you think?
I'm thinking
They
okay,
come from the-
They come from the past.
Yeah, here.
They come here, and they're looking at me right now, and they're like, look at her legs. That's so rude.
But
She should
I
be
would
sitting-
assume one of the first rules of time traveling is like don't blow up your own spot by being like, what are you doing? You got to think. The
'Cause you're trying to
assumption
be
should
secret.
be customs are going to change.
I understand.
Because here's the thing, Wig. You're
keep
in our.
all of this. Keep all
No,
of this.
I'm just saying, like,
Yes.
you're in our like final two of who we're gonna pick to time travel, and so I need to know you're not just saying you understand. You
Oh,
understand.
no, I understand.
You
I
can't go
understand.
to the future. If I send you 30 years to the future on
Yes.
like day one, you can't be like flying cars. Like you
No,
gotta
no,
keep.
no. I have to be like, there they are, there they are.
All right, do you?
Yes.
You're 30 years in the future, and I want you to just you go 30 years in the future, and
Yes.
you see a flying car, and then you're keeping your cool, but then you see a dog with a jetpack.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you? There's a very nice dance in the first episode of this season. I'm very happy to see you dancing all the time.
Yeah, I like to dance.
Do you let the choreographer like basically tell you how to dance, or do you, Kristen Wiig, say I've got some ideas?
She, our choreographer Brooke is just incredible. She had the whole thing worked out that I had to do with the other dancers, but then there were times where she said just like free form, and that was really fun.
Okay.
Yes.
What's some of your freeform? What's like
Oh,
just?
jeez.
Well, you don't have to do it.
Yeah, I don't
Do
have
all
to
right. Do this. Do. Be a person
Okay.
watching you freeform, and let's see if we can guess what it looks like based on your reaction.
Oh, okay. Yes.
You also a very fun
That
twist.
was a nice way to get out of that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Escapability.
Yeah.
Did you you have a secret? There's a twist. Can I say the twist?
Oh, I don't know what twist you're talking about.
Well, first, you have on the show. You have a secret
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
twin sister.
Yes.
Are you excited to be? I mean, it feels like a dream role for you?
Yeah, I weirdly have always wanted to do that.
Yeah.
Well, because, you know, some of those old shows like Bewitched and like Brady Bunch, they always had the thing where like the actress just put on a dark wig and was
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm your cousin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so we kind of embraced some of those things, and I got to play my twin, and it was really fun.
Oh my God. In real life, do you think you'd be excited if you found out you had a secret twin?
Now, like if I found out.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I would have so many questions as to why she waited so long.
In this hypothetical, you're not allowed to ask any questions. Are you still excited?
Yes.
She shows up and she's like, I'm your secret twin.
Yes.
No
I
questions.
feel like it'd be a lot of work. There's a lot of like, oh, okay, so then what happened? You'd have to like
Yeah,
catch
yeah,
up
yeah.
for like. I'm in my 50s. That's a lot of years to like
Yeah.
catch up.
You're sort of like,
I love that I don't want to find out I have a twin because it's going to be a lot of work for me
Yeah.
to talk to her.
it's
What does
so
that
funny.
say
Like
about
you're
me?
like your identical twin, and you're like, I don't want to do all this small talk.
Yeah, like can we just start from here?
You're like, I have a lot of friends. Can we just start from here? Let's just pretend like we just met, and like we'll get over the fact that we look the exact same.
Exact same. Or we could just say like, let's just not tell anyone,
Yeah.
and then you go your way.
I gotta be honest. She's here, and we were gonna bring her out, but based on your reaction, we're not gonna do it.
not
You're
gonna
just
do
not
it.
enthusiastic enough about it. Congrats on another season of a great show.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here, my friend.
Thanks.
Don't forget, everyone, season 2 finale of Palm Royale, Wednesday on Apple TV. We'll be right back with Lee Byung-hun.